And we're live. Hello there. Welcome to episode 3 of the Wunderfan Show. Good morning to everyone on the West Coast. Good afternoon everywhere else, and good evening if you're listening from around the world, which I know we are. Hello there. I'm your host, Henry Markin. Of course, here at the Wunderfan Show, we are sponsored by the Wunderfan app. This, I think, is the only show that pays you to watch it in America. I mean, how many shows do you know that pay you to watch it? Usually it's the other way around. It's kind of how our society has been developed, thanks to capitalism. You watch a show, they make money. No, this show is different. You watch it, you make money, and hopefully you enjoy it too. If you don't enjoy it, let me know how I can better the show. After all, it's me doing it. Yes, the Wunderfan Show is amazing because you get paid to watch clips of the Wunderfan Show on the Wunderfan app. So that's right. Just download the Wunderfan app, click on feed, and you can earn cash rewards by watching clips of this show in addition to any other clips you see on the Wunderfan feed. So if you see me talking, if you see me yapping, just running my mouth saying whatever shit I think feels important to me, if you're watching that on the Wunderfan app, congratulations, you're in the right place because you're making money by doing so. So see for yourself, download the Wunderfan app, earn cash rewards and cash vouchers to amazing brands just by going to games and stadiums or watching clips on the Wunderfan app. It's all possible to you on the Wunderfan app. Download today. It's absolutely free. It's absolutely amazing today, Monday, January 13th. Happy Monday to everyone watching, and happy Monday, especially to everyone in Florida. That's right, Florida man and woman and every person in between. We are doing a massive campaign right now. Our Florida campus takeover. Wunderfan U, meet the Florida schools. If you go to the University of Florida, if you go to Florida State, if you go to UMiami or University of Central Florida, congratulations. You can now get paid just by going to class this week. That's right. This week only. Every second you spend on campus, you earn cash rewards on the Wunderfan app. It's the same process you'd take if you were to use Wunderfan at a game, except this time it works on your campus. So you got to download the Wunderfan app, find the venue, just like you would when you go to a game, except this time the venue is your whole school. Every inch of your campus is now jurisdiction. It's an earning zone for you. If you're on campus, you're earning cash rewards on the Wunderfan app. And that's it. You just download the app, hit earn and let it cook. That's all you do. It's just cash rewards, money in your pocket just by existing. There's no tricks. There's no paying. There's no gimmick. There's no con. There's nothing. We just want to show you the app. We're just trying to get you familiar with the Wunderfan app. We want to show you how easy it is to earn at games, how you usually use Wunderfan at a stadium or at a sporting event or watching clips. So we figured, hey, you're going to be in class. You're going to be on campus. Welcome back. Hope winter break was great. Here's a little treat from your friends at Wunderfan. It's totally free. We just want to show you how to use it and how easy it is to use Wunderfan in your daily life. So continue your life. Just if you happen to use Wunderfan, you get rewarded for it. Good morning. So yeah, consider this opportunity. I am just tripping over myself. I'm so excited to talk. Consider this opportunity to get familiar with the app. After all, everyone wins on Wunderfan. Okay, enough about that. I actually stopped drinking coffee a couple weeks ago. Something that I didn't usually do at all in my life before because I'm just naturally caffeinated. I felt that drinking coffee just would turn me into a gremlin. I've just never been a coffee guy because like if you're already like out of here and coffee takes you to, out of the screen, like that can't be good. I did, however, find I got a little more focused when I drank coffee. So I don't know how that's possible. I go from a here to like a here, which is great. And I like mochas. Stop doing mochas because I'm doing a hard 75 or a 75 hard. I don't know. It's just a sugar nightmare. And I can't do that in this new program. I'm trying to get big, strong. But I might trip over myself again because my brain moves faster than my mouth. if that's even possible for you to imagine. Trust me, it is. All right, enough with the business overhead stuff. Let's get on to the meat and potatoes here. Folks, we had just an awesome weekend of football. It which started on Thursday and technically is still going tonight with the Vikings Rams. Oh, and remember, if you're watching the show live, you can call in right now, anytime throughout this episode. That's 424-299-1235. This is a live radio show that you can absolutely join at any time. Every Monday, every Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. Call and we will answer. But right now, let me just get to what I was going to talk about. The NFL playoffs. We only got one good game, by the way. Not that it wasn't good football throughout. It's always good football depending on, what you're rooting for, but just objectively, one good game is all we got. And it's ironic that it actually happened on Sunday night with my hero, my knight in shining armor, Chris Collinsworth. I mean, it really came down to those 6 inches. And you don't know what 6 inches I'm talking about. Doink. Yeah, really good stuff from him as usual. I'm a big fan of his. I thought the broadcast was great. I thought the game was great. That was the only good game we got. Everything else was just kind of, I don't want to say the favorites just took over because that's not true in the Texans-Chargers game, but they just weren't very good games, weren't very competitive. And first game, Chargers, I said it already. I'm just bummed about Justin Herbert. Really, I'm bummed. This isn't a gotcha. We knew it was coming. It's no, everybody wanted Justin Herbert to work. We all wanted Justin Herbert to work in the playoffs. We wanted this Chargers team to work. We love Harbaugh. It's such a likable team. There's such a sweet culture they're growing. We wanted this to work. This isn't a, you lost. This is we're all, I made a video about this already, but I'll reiterate. We all want Herbert to work. It's just, he's such a likable dude. He's funny. He's got these quirky little social media commercials he's in with these different soap companies, which I think is just baller to begin with, as someone who's done commercials for soaps, Dr. Squatch. We all wanted Herbert to work, right? He's a big, handsome dude who throws a great football, great deep ball, throws dots and darts, everything across the board, and he plays quarterback for a football team in Los Angeles, and he has sweet hair. That's a balanced breakfast. That's a 5-tool guy as far as a football fan is concerned. That shit works in the movies. It's Hollywood's evergreen formula, and, in theory, it should have worked. And I guess we're just bummed it hasn't been working. They did it exactly the same thing twice so far, where they have a wild card playoff game, have somewhat of a lead, somewhat of a control of the game, and he just falls apart. The guy threw 3 picks all year. He threw 4 in one game. Come on. All right? And we all wanted him to crush the Texans. Not because we hate the Texans. We don't care like that. Stroud's a dog. I like this Texans team. I don't know. Herbert it just makes sense. If he's getting paid all this money, which, by the way, we saw the contract go through. We're yeah, I agree. Pay him that. I don't think he's worth any of that. Well, not any of it, because obviously he's worth some of it, but not nearly as we shouldn't have said yes so quickly. I guess we were just bummed that he's kind of just mid, right? And it has nothing to do with race. It's not because it's oh, he's a white guy. That's me. No, it's just because you just see everything about him just kind of feels like it's perfect, right? He's handsome. He throws a great ball. He's got a great coach. He's smart, funny dude. It's okay, yeah, I see it. It should work. It's not working. Why? I don't know. We all wanted this to work. Didn't work. Good consolation prize, however, is that the Texans who beat them are actually good. And I was a little worried that if the Texans beat these guys barely And now we have to just deal with a mid Texans team. It seems like the Texans may have found some footing, right? Nico Collins, he scored. Joe Mixon looks great. Their defense did their job. I mean, Herbert threw 4 picks, right? I mean, that's doing your job, I'd say. And the Texans are capable. I want to repeat that. This is not a guaranteed win for the Chiefs. Chiefs, Texans on Saturday. Texans are capable. Texans, people forget, beat the Bills. Bills are trying to win a Super Bowl. And I know it's like, yeah, who cares? No. The big games mattered in the regular season. When the Rams played the Bills, that was a big game for both teams. Rams lose that game, they're not going to the playoffs. Bills lose that game, they're probably not getting the number 1 overall seed. Both teams tried their ass off, and one team lost. It wasn't like we didn't care. We threw it. It wasn't the Chiefs week 18 where it was like, big deal, right? And then, by the way, Broncos made the playoffs only to get slaughtered by the Bills because the Chiefs threw it. Because nobody wanted Joe Burrow in the playoffs. Again, I cannot harp on that enough. Nobody wanted Joe Burrow in the playoffs because if Burrow's in the playoffs, your whole plan is screwed. Because that is a really competent dude that can beat anyone, no matter what seed he is. We almost got Bills, Bengals round 1. I can't get over that. Ugh. I guess I'm thinking it's not news. I'm just still thinking about that because of the shit game we got. Whatever. But yeah, no, Texans are capable. They can beat the Chiefs. And if you think about what we want and do not want to see, I think the last thing any of us want is to see the Chiefs three-peat in not exciting football fashion, right? Well, I'm not saying I want the Chiefs to lose. It's not what I'm saying. In fact, part of me kind of wants the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl so that, the mission is clear. No Chiefs, right? It's fun having these villains continue to win, continue to play, so you can root against them, right? I've said that forever, for any sport, really. It's tough when you have 2 villains play each other because it's like what do I do? Yankees, Dodgers. What do you do? What do you root for? You're pulling your hair either way. What hurts less? And it still feels like even whatever it is you're rooting for at the end, it still sucks. It's a lose-lose situation, and you don't feel any better about the outcome. There's no lesser of 2 evils. It's just evil. Evil one, right? I think the Chiefs need to be in this playoffs for as long as possible without winning it. That's my opinion. But if the Texans beat the Chiefs, good riddance. Goodbye. Early exit. Fine by me. But, now we could have some competent competitive football. Stroud's still a dog. I still believe that. So that's cool. But yeah, remember, if you see the Chiefs, yuck. Root against them, yuck. It's okay if they win until the Super Bowl, right? That's sort of what I tell myself to cope with the Niners just being so far away in Cancun, right? Other games, though, they weren't good. Ravens, that was never close. They were always going to beat the Steelers. It was always going to be Tomlin, who, by the way, people are like, he's not a good coach. He's a great coach. That organization's had like 3 coaches in their whole history. That's insane. And Tomlin is by no means the worst of those 3 coaches. I think he's probably been dealt the shittiest hands. I mean, he's had a lot of years he had to deal with Mason Rudolph or some guy named Duck Hodges, right? I mean, you could do a lot of cool things with Ben Roethlisberger and Terry Bradshaw, but when you gotta, when you have to do it with mid and you're still over 500 and you're still making the playoffs, you're a good coach. Don't know if Russell Wilson, in hindsight, was the right move. I think maybe the best move probably was running with Fields, seeing that, go through. Because now you're like in the middle of the draft, right? I mean, I know it's great and all to make the playoffs and to do that. But now you're kind of like, you got to get like, you have to draft a quarterback. I mean, Russ is clearly not the answer. And I don't even know if Fields is the answer. I think having Fields is still cool to have in your organization because he's so talented. And like, you could do some amazing stuff with him, like third down, fourth down. Like, I think that's great. But Russ just looks brittle. And you shouldn't put brittle objects in the cold weather. Don't brittle things just break faster and like freezing cold temperatures. I feel like brittle does pretty well, like where it's warm. You know, if you're tight but it's warm, like Russ in Miami, that could be something. By the way, did I just? That may be a winning solution in Miami. McDaniel, if you're watching this, which I know you are, because you got a lot of free time right now. Especially when you're in and out of therapy dealing with the possible termination of Tyreek Hill and the Dolphins. Maybe Russell Wilson in Miami is like the greatest thing that could ever happen to your organization right now. Of course, you know, you could always get somebody else, but like, you know, that could work. Okay. Bills, Broncos, that was never close. Bills were never going to lose. And it's weird because you know, like the NFL would do what they can to protect their big hitting assets, right? Like Josh Allen, that's a fan favorite. That's an MVP candidate, probably the MVP winner. You're not just going to let him lose if you have any say in it, of course. Of course, there's the argument where it's like, well, NFL, they're not fixing games. I'm not saying they are, but they certainly have an opportunity to protect some players. And it's weird because, you know, you see that pass interference call that was blatantly missed. And I just will never understand, like when you have all these cameras, you have all these angles, the pylon cam or the ref cam or the dash cam or the chain cam, and all these crazy camera angles and eyeballs watching the play from different areas of the stadium. Refs are right there, you know, hands on knees, watching them like a hawk. How do you miss these calls? And then you go watch a Chiefs game, they have like 1,000 camera angles, like 1,000 new eyeballs, and like all these refs that are like coming out of the ground like gophers and they disappear. So like when the Chiefs are on offense, those calls are never missed, ever. But any other game, or even when the Chiefs are on defense, it's like all those cameras, those 1,000 new angles are just unplugged. The refs, the gopher hole refs, the ones that pop up and like, it's like, how do you even see that? You know, the ones that come up on like 4th and 3, fourth quarter, the Chiefs always get. Ref comes up, that's like, oh, wait a minute. The lights. And this, I mean, I will never forgive the NFL for, what was it? The Bengals Chiefs game where there was something wrong with the lights, the sound. We have to redo the down on third down. They got to redo it. Oh, like that was crazy. Anyways, never seen that rule come up again. Never seen that play happen. Gopher hole, back in the ground. Never, ever to return again. That bothers me. Anyways, Green Bay, Philly, same kind of thing as the Ravens game. It was never close. They just swallowed them. And Green Bay screwed themselves by losing to the Bears. I mean, I think what would have been? It would have been Green Bay, Tampa. Green Bay, Tampa. That could have been a very different outcome. And then Green Bay, Tampa. Green Bay then goes and plays the Lions, and every Green Bay Lions game is just close. But no, you lost to the Bears, and then you go to Philly, and you're not going to beat Philly. Philly's sick. Philly's trying to win a Super Bowl. So, you know, we are the sum of all of our choices and actions, and they lost to the Bears. The Bears broke Green Bay, and I know Big Cat's stoked. But yeah, what do I think is going to happen? I think the graphics I made, that's all coming. The only thing I didn't get was Chargers, but you know, I bet you Chiefs still win. I like the Lions advancing. I think they still advance. My NFC champion is still the Eagles, who look so solid. I don't think the Lions can beat the Eagles. I definitely don't think the Commanders can beat the Eagles, because that's a little brother, big brother situation that's not changing. And I think I like the Ravens beating the Bills. I do. More on that later this week. We'll do predictions later this week. All right, let's open up our calls right now. I'm officially allowing people to make a phone call to the show. So anyone watching, the ringer is on. Wunderfan phone is hot. And let's see what you got. Callers are officially on. I'm going to play some voicemails later on if nobody calls in. But yeah, I think I like my pick still. I'm pretty hot on the Ravens and Eagles having a bird fight in NOLA for the Super Bowl. I think that could be great. That would be really fun. I don't know who I'd root for yet. Probably the Ravens. Yeah, who am I kidding? Of course I'm going to root for the Ravens. It's none question. Okay, college football. The champion is set. Or I should say the natty is set. Is the champion? Well, the champion might be set. Game could already be over. A lot of people were saying on social that, the natty was actually Ohio State versus Texas. And the Penn State Notre Dame game was a third place game. I could see that, right? I mean, if Notre Dame loses to Ohio State, I guess their last bit of happiness and gratification came from, beating Penn State. Penn State, so happy they're gone. Oh my God. I cannot say it enough. Penn State losing that game, regardless of who they're playing. I mean, I think there's only a few teams that I think I would rather have Penn State beat, and one of them is like ISIS. Like, I think if ISIS played Penn State in a college football playoff game, I'm probably going Penn State. But that is the most undeserving team that I've ever seen be in that position. Like, you had a gift basket of teams you had to play prior to that game. Not to mention, you had a remarkably mid-season. Remarkably mid. I mean, is that what we're rewarding now? I know the committee is going to change things, how they're seeded next year, but Oregon won the Big Ten, had a perfect season, and was rewarded by playing Ohio State in a neutral site. Penn State lost twice and was gifted home field, SMU, and then Boise. Boise, who was there because they deserved to be in the playoff, but the seed was just a mistake. So happy they're gone. Actually, Coach Franklin is the biggest fraud in college football. Not personally. I don't know him personally, and I can't speak about his personality. But as a coach, he literally hasn't beaten one team. He's only beaten one top 5 team. Everything else is a loss. But the championship game, Ohio State versus Notre Dame, wow. What do you do? What do you root for? I mean, you have 2 options. Well, 3 options if you choose to just do nothing. I guess that's always an option. It's just, I'm going to do nothing. I'm not going to root for, I'm not going to eat. I'm actually just going to just literally turn into furniture. That option sucks. So you have 2 options. You can root for Ryan Day, a guy who picks fights with 88-year-old men and draws in his beard with Sharpie, being Ohio State. Or you can root for Notre Dame. And then you're just so original, aren't you? You'd be just like every other Yankees, Cowboys, Lakers fan out there. Just so thoughtful, so originally you, so uniquely iconic. This is what I'm talking about. This is when you have a championship where you root for one of 2 villains. Dodgers, Yankees. How do you stand? Obviously, if you're in the Bronx or in LA, you have a clear stance. But everyone else, what do you do? As far as this natty goes, who do you root for? I don't know. No, it's obvious. It's Notre Dame. I mean, let's face it. They're 9-point underdogs. You have to root for them. And this is not a Notre Dame team that we've seen in the past. This isn't Notre Dame that we're used to. This is a fun Notre Dame team, right? I mean, just starts from the top at Freeman, at the coach. Close your eyes right now. If you were to picture Notre Dame, any staff member that could work at Notre Dame, I think if I just close my eyes right now, I just think, give me an employee at Notre Dame. I just think of a priest, right? I don't think of Coach Freeman this young, handsome, ripped former player, innovative thinker out coaching Kirby Smart in New Orleans in the Sugar Bowl. I don't think that. None of that. I think of a priest who low-key looks like Brian Kelly. By the way, I know Coach Freeman is a really good coach. And you're seeing the rumors that Freeman is already getting the nod to interview for the Chicago Bears job, which incredibly well deserved and probably be a good hire. I mean, what the Bears need is a culture shift. They have talented players. You just need a new culture, and Freeman is clearly a culture guy, and he'd absolutely do better than many of the guys I've had in the past 3 years. But as good of a coach Marcus Freeman is, who I think Marcus Freeman is a great coach, I also think that Brian Kelly is an awful coach. Brian Kelly said something like, I need to be at a place that can give me the resources to win a natty. That's why he went to LSU. He needs to be at a place to give him the resources to win a natty, to win big games. So I guess Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors was just not going to cut it, right? The Heisman, a quarterback who's winning playoff games in the NFL as a rookie, and arguably one of the more talented offensive players in the NFL, also rookie. Those guys in college just weren't going to cut it. No, just not enough resources. I wonder if Brian Kelly was more literal than we may have gave him credit for. Did he mean like more raw materials, like more iron? Maybe he was talking about like more fundamental building blocks of society, not player resources. I'm so sorry. He's so right. We need to give him more iron ore. Yep. I mean, he wants to build that thing from the ground up. He meant literally. Yep. He wants to get in with the construction zones. He wants to tear the old place down and build it brick by brick. How could we be so stupid? Yes, give him all the raw materials he needs. Give him a builder's permit. Give him a key to the city. Meeting with the mayor, for the, construction. Oh, we have a call. Let's answer. Yes, hello, this is the Wunderfan show. Who might you be?
It's Hound Dog.
This is Hound Dog. Hound Dog, what do you want to talk about?
Brian Kelly. I give him one more year.
One more year for Brian Kelly. So clearly you're watching live, and apparently you think he does need resources more than just raw materials. I mean, was Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors just not enough? Just not going to cut it?
No. I'm saying he's got one more year and he's out.
One more year and he's out. Okay.
A lot of the LSU faithful hearing left and right that, as you mentioned about Marcus Freeman, Kelly left and Notre Dame got better.
Right.
You've had the last three coaches at LSU who've won a natty, and Brian Kelly comes in, and you might as well pencil him in for the Citrus Bowl or whatever that bowl's called at this point, the ReliaQuest Bowl. They're 9-3, 8-4 at best. Like you said, Malik Neighbors, Jane Daniels, I can go on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
The recruiting's falling off. The boosters aren't wanting to put money in the NIL because they're not seeing the ROI from him. Like I said, I give him one more year. He's on the hot seat and he's out. And, we've seen it with A&M. We've seen it with a multitude of other schools. They're willing to pay the buyout. And with everything that's happening with these possible PEs getting involved at 51-49 on the split and coming into these athletic departments, LSU is just not going to, they're not going to let Brian Kelly be the guy that leads them into the future.
I totally agree. I think you could honestly make the argument right now where if they lose one game next year, one game they shouldn't lose, you have to fire him right away.
Well, and look, they lost their last, I think, 3 years in a row. They've lost the first game coming out of, summer camp coming into the season against pretty lesser competition, whether it be USC, UCLA, you name it. But I don't think the buck just stops with Kelly. I think the same thing goes with DeBoer. And I think the same goes with the multitude of coaches out there because recruiting doesn't really matter that much anymore. I'll give you a perfect stat for that. The 2024 class of Alabama, their top 15 recruits, 9 of the guys are gone. It is the portal and everything that comes with it. You got 6,000 guys that are in the portal this year. And you can talk about recruiting all you want, but like the days of hey, give me a year or two to create my culture and get my guys in there, it's not there. Like, you can generate a really good roster if you got the ponies behind there to put the dollars in there. Another example, Auburn, who's been awful, who's had 5 straight losing seasons, but they've been putting up the money to get great recruiting classes. They've got some projections for them to be somewhere in the ballpark of 8, 9, 10, top 25 next year for what they pulled in the past 2 years just in the portal.
Damn, Hound Dog, you didn't come to play today. You seem strapped with knowledge. You must be someone of, let me guess, SEC ties, someone who didn't like what they saw in the last couple weeks of the year, last couple weeks in real time, probably an SEC defender. Are you you're an SEC loyalist? Are you nervous about the future?
Well, it's funny you say that because, yes, I am an SEC defender. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. But all that being said, I'll give you an example or an analogy. I think that obviously the SEC has had complete dominance over the past 20 years. The past 2 years, there's been 4 teams that have played in the Natty, and the SEC has not had one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at Greg Sankey and everything that happened with college basketball, where the SEC was really down, really about 7, 8 years ago, they put an emphasis on the league. And if you look at the league now, not saying there's been a ton of national championships, but there's been a ton of incredible players. There's more NBA players in the NBA today from SEC rosters than anywhere in the country.
Yep.
All that being said, I think with everything that's happened with NIL and it's created a more level playing field, the SEC is so obsessed with sports because it's not a huge pro league market. I think you're just drumming up the pot even more because they're going to figure out a way to become, I won't say more dominant because obviously the landscape has changed, but I don't see that this trend, see it trending too much longer in this direction. But props to the northern teams out there, Mason, north of the Mason-Dixon line, whether it be Notre Dame, Ohio State, Penn State, you name it. They figured out how to make it work, and it's on the SEC now to figure out how to, I guess, say rebuttal or come back with the backhand.
Well, good stuff out of you, Hound Dog. Thank you for calling in today. We're going to move on to our next caller, but I will put you on the list as one of the more intelligent and socially aware of the callers. Hound Dog, everybody, he was great. Thank you. Well, he was great. And the way I look at callers now is we've had a variety of callers. Some people come with opinions. Some people come with facts. Some people come with questions. And then some people come with bullshit. And I love all of it. That was some information, right? That was me putting my thinking cap on. I think the SEC is probably going to be like just average. They're going to be just like everybody else, whether you like it or not, Hound Dog. All right. As I was saying, Brian Kelly, and as Hound Dog said, one more year. I think it's fair. I think he's gone sooner if they lose another opening game. Yeah. And I'll be all for it. Texas versus Ohio State. This is a lot of people's championship. Glad we got that game. It was kind of entertaining. It was slow in the beginning and then it just heated up, and that's fine by me. I don't care how or when it happens. I'm just glad we got some, brain movement, right? Some synapses finally started to fire, which is cool. I'm going to say this. I'm happy Ohio State won because it means they're in the Natty. Again, root against, right? I'm also glad we saw the Ewers conclusion in real time, right? The Ewers saga, that story is done. I think the guy's fine as a dude. I'm just saying, you got a Ferrari in your garage in Arch Manning, and you're racing other Ferraris with a Prius. That's yours. I mean, you're down 7 points. First and goal at the 1. You got probably the future of Texas football. Could be the future of the NFL with Arch Manning. Just absolute beast in the air and on the ground. And show you multiple times all year. The dude can play. The dude can throw. He can definitely run. First and goal at the 1, down 7. You walk away down 14 because you did not race your Ferrari. You raced your Prius against other Ferraris. There's a couple of things that will be remembered forever in Texas. One of them is the Alamo, and the other is that play they ran. A toss left at the 1 yard line, down 7. That toss is a bad dream. Playing Ewers was a bad dream. Manning should have been played probably the entire game. I think you saw what you needed to see from Ewers against Arizona State. You saw that he can play, but if you really want to win, it's more Manning than Ewers. And at the very least, every run play where it's like, what should we do? We need RPO here. What could we possibly do? Manning's got to be jogging out every time. I mean, it's a crime you did nothing with him. That RPO is dangerous, and you just let it exist. I mean, Manning's not going anywhere. It's his job, clearly, next year. Otherwise, you're insane. But yeah, we got Texas out, Ohio State in, Ohio State, Notre Dame. I think that's fine. I think it's a fine championship. Kirk Herbstreit says you couldn't have paid for a better championship. Low key, I agree with him. I mean, it's one of the best teams all year versus another really good team all year. Hope it's good football, not just a blowout. Otherwise, we have a lot of work to do because we had some good teams that lost early that were entirely at the mercy of the committee where they were seated. And, you know, it better have been worth it if Oregon's gone early, or it better be worth it that you decided to just give Penn State a gift basket into the Final Four. Like, you could have had some good football games and get these mid teams out early, or pit these mid teams against each other. I don't know. Okay. Again, we're going to go into more of the predictions for the playoffs later this week. Rams versus Vikings tonight in Arizona. I think I still like the Rams. It's really devastating what's happening in Los Angeles, and my heart is just shattered. I live in Los Angeles. I'm not there right now, but I think the Rams are playing for that city. You saw last night, Bobby Wagner was playing for LA in Washington. Like, he still has LA ties. That dude was hitting so hard last night. I think the lack of a home game doesn't really matter. I think the Rams are just going to come out swinging, and the Vikings are just going to be at the unfortunate end of a very forgettable year. Very forgettable year. I got the Rams still. I feel pretty good about it. Okay, last but not least, let's play some voicemails. Again, you could always call this number, 424-299-1235. Any day, anytime you want. You go right to voicemail. You just say whatever you want. We will play it on the show. Of course, you could be like Hound Dog and many other guys that call in. You call this number live every Monday, Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 424-299-1235. Okay, let's run through some voicemails. This one was left yesterday in Kansas City, Missouri. Let's give it a go here.
Now, here's a guy that just looks like, it just looks, I don't know, Jim. I just think that the Chiefs are they're going to find some way to just squeeze the ball in there, and somehow they're going to get back to the Super Bowl, Jim. I really think that. Oh, man, I cannot believe what I'm just seeing out of Patrick Mahomes. I mean, we've seen it over and over and over again. But the Ravens are winning the Super Bowl.
Is that what I sound like? Thank you very much for the anonymous Collinsworth and Romo impressions. Curious, when I do Collinsworth, do you hear Collinsworth, or you just hear me acting a fool? I don't know anymore because I'm obviously me, and I don't even know how I sound to people. But that is kind of interesting hearing someone else do Collinsworth and Romo to me. Someone who has done Collinsworth and Romo to you all. Flattered. Thank you. I agree. I think Ravens probably win the Super Bowl. I don't know how you stop the Ravens. I know how you stop the Eagles. You just got to outcoach Sirianni, which you can probably do. Let's play another voicemail. That was fun. That was a treat. Thank you very much. What else we got here? I like how the transcription on the voicemail for that last one, too. Siri felt it was necessary to write, ha, 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 ha. Oh, man. Ha, ha. There you go. All right. Another voicemail. This one is out of Ambler, Pennsylvania. See what we got here.
Yo, hello. So my friend King of Birds, you might have seen him on your show.
King of Birds.
King of Birds. He was talking to you about Tanner McKee at the Eagles Super Bowl against the Chiefs. So I was just wondering if on Monday at maybe around 4:00, 4:30ish, you could invite me onto your show by just giving me a ring and just inviting me. So King of Birds told me about you, and he told me your number. So I was just wondering if I could be on your show next time. Bye. And your channel's amazing. I just want to tell you that. You make some really good football videos. See ya.
That was nice. That was nice. And yes, thank you to the King of Birds. He joined our show last week and dropped this insane name. I mean, the craziest name drop I've had in a long time. He called in and wanted to talk Tanner McKee, the Eagles backup quarterback who played against the Giants. He was like, so what are your thoughts on Tanner McKee? And I was like, who? He's like, Tanner McKee. Most nonchalant. I was like, just the Eagles backup who's just slinging it, just crushed the Giants. I'm like, this guy is awesome. Not to mention, I asked him in the middle of our call, what's your name? And he hung up. Totally respect that move. I mean, you don't talk to strangers. I get that. But King of Birds then called back, said, I'm the King of Birds, right? Shame on me for wanting to make this about me. Guy calls in, just wants to talk ball. I get it. I get it. I should have just known that from the jump. I need something to call him. So he comes back. I'm the King of Birds. Love it. Looks like the King of Birds brought his wingman. I don't know. I didn't get a nomenclature there. Didn't get an ID, but I'm going to assume we'll call him Wingman. Wingman, you can call this line anytime you want. Voicemail is open. 424-299-1235. Mondays and Thursdays. Call 11 a.m. Pacific time live. You join the show. That's when you can ring me in. All right, Wingman? You guys are great. Okay, that just about does it today. We will return on Thursday to talk more about predictions going into the weekend, going into the games. Oh, I better talk about this now before I forget. We are doing a massive giveaway. I'll say it again because I just knocked into this wood and I don't want to ruin it for social. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between, we are doing a massive national championship ticket giveaway right here on Wunderfan. We have 2 tickets to the Natty, and we are giving it away to 2 lucky people who follow Wunderfan social. So if you follow the Wunderfan app on Instagram and have the Wunderfan app downloaded, we're drawing a raffle we have all the names who has the Wunderfan app downloaded. We have all the users. And so we'll draw names. And if you're only eligible if you're following the Wunderfan account on Instagram. So if you follow us on social and you have the Wunderfan app downloaded, you are automatically in this raffle to win 2 tickets to the Natty. We are drawing names in the next couple of days. This is your last chance to follow the account, to download the app. If you want to go to the game, I believe it's in Atlanta. It's going to be great, great, great game. I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be close. I hope. This is your last chance to enter the raffle to win 2 tickets to the Natty. You must be following us on IG, and you must have the Wunderfan app downloaded to be eligible. We will draw names random from our database. Guys, this is the Wunderfan app experience, right? You get paid to watch the Wunderfan show, clips on the Wunderfan app. Just by having the app and following us, you could win tickets. We're just giving it away. And if you go to any of the Florida schools this week, you get paid just to walk around on campus. Everybody wins on the Wunderfan app. And I think on that, we will shut it down for the day. Thank you so much to everyone that called in, left voicemails. Thank you for following the account. Keep up with the Wunderfan show. We are growing across the airwaves. We're marching across the country. Wunderfan is a movement. It's real. Never too late. Jump on the wagon. Never too late. Never too early either, by the way. We'll take it anytime you want. All right. That's it. Cheers. Have a great rest of your day. We will see you on Thursday.